Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to episode 6 of Saving the Republic. Here we've got Nate Dunning, Skylar Walksman, and Kelly Neidert. A salon owner in Dallas gets arrested and released within the same week period. New developments on the Ahmaud Arbery case. And Elon's having a crazy week in California. This is episode 6. So there was an embarrassment in the great state of Texas, which I pride myself of being from, in Dallas County, in the same county where they're releasing prison inmates, the same county where any theft below $750 is not to be prosecuted. They are arresting someone for opening her salon against the rules that she was given and forced to basically, if you don't apologize, we're arresting you. So basically forced. And what I understood was the people that you elect are supposed to apologize to you, not you to them. So how do y'all feel about this case so far? I mean, I don't think it's ever going to disappear, but she was released. The Supreme Court of Texas unanimously voted to get her out. Greg Abbott got her out. Everybody fought for her. GoFundMe funded $500,000. Anyways, what do y'all think?
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
was she was ordered by the Supreme Court to be released. I think that's really interesting. I agree that it was totally wrong for her to be arrested for something like that. I think confinement in jail is an insane punishment for opening up your salon and trying to feed your kids. But I think it's a really interesting thing to see that the Texas Supreme Court released her.
What's really interesting about it is that it was
Very good.
unanimous. That
Yeah.
is a rarity for unanimous. In this kind of case, you'd usually have a lot of controversy, but no, unanimously. What do y'all say to the argument that, well, she broke the law, she needs to serve justice or whatever?
I think kind of an important part here is that it's not really I don't, it's not really a law, it's a guideline from my understanding. So, yes, there are possible fines that come up with it. Like I think she also got a $7,000 fine. I want to say, is it the Attorney General of Texas who paid for it, or it's the Lieutenant Governor, maybe someone up there just basically just said, "Hey, I'm gonna take and pay for the fine for her because of this whole situation."
Yeah, it was. I think Dan Patrick was the one, Lieutenant Governor, that paid her the $7,000. That was pretty cool to see that happen. Dan's kind of he's good most of the time, but there are definitely certain times where Dan Patrick will say something that's I'm not totally sure where he's coming from, but generally pretty good Lieutenant Governor, and so that was cool to see that he took care of that.
I will say, I believe Dallas County is regarded as one of the most kind of brutal jails in the United States. First of all, feel free to fact check me on that. I'm not. That's just some things I've heard, but I think putting a salon owner in jail for trying to feed her kids,
Who's
that
probably never
that's
been to
just
jail in her life.
that's just crazy. Like, especially like Dallas County, where it's considered to be just so bad. And on top of that, she got a fine, and now those people are still out of work. It's it's insane. It's a massive overreach.
Um, their Dallas County judge Clay Jenkins, he seems to be a little dictator over there. He's just totally power hungry.
Seems to like the
Throwing
power.
everyone,
That's exactly what I've been seeing.
yeah, yeah, just throwing everyone in jail for not or for going to work. I think he's hopefully the voters of Dallas County will see that and vote him out. I don't have a ton of faith in that, considering it's a pretty probably one of the most
It's one of the most
blue.
liberal counties
Yeah,
in Texas. Yeah, I believe that them and Houston are the two most blue.
No, I think it's them in Austin.
Oh yeah, them
well,
in
yeah,
Austin.
Travis County as well. All three of those, Harris County, Travis County, Dallas, they're all
And El
very
Paso.
blue.
El Paso.
Yeah, they're
They
probably
elected Beto.
a close
Oh,
fourth.
that's true.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think it was kind of interesting to see the response by all the statewide elected officials. Like literally all of them, just about jumped on this and defended her, which I think is really cool, and it's cool to see. Um, there are a lot of other instances where someone kind of similar, where someone opened up their business, and I think there are other salon owners that where this happened. I know there are bar owners. There was a case in Odessa where someone opened up their bar early. Well, I guess it's still you still bars are still are closed off, but a bar opened. So there have been a few different instances, but I think the reason this one got so much spotlight is partially because of that Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins being so overreaching and
Yeah, all you need to know
she
is
just didn't.
when he was like, "You want to apologize to all the officials that gave you those guidelines for deciding to do that." When he said that, it's you just want to go up there and slap him. I mean, that's insane for you to say that. That she should apologize for that, Shelly. I mean, and
And I
she's
believe
talked
part
about.
of it was she was going to get released if she A, apologized, and B, agreed to not open her salon again until the guidelines are removed.
Yeah, I think it was really powerful that she didn't that uh, she was. I think she was totally right to get back to business. Um, she's well
And I
within her
think
right
I
to do
think
that.
it says a lot when, first of all, people like Greg Abbott stand up and fight for her. Although Greg Abbott could have acted on it sooner, I'm not gonna lie. He was tweeting about it instead of like fixing it. You are the governor after all. And then the other thing, when you have people like Chip Roy and Ted Cruz on the Twitter, like fighting for you, especially Ted, because yes, say what you want about Ted, but I mean, he's Harvard Law. I mean, you're talking about a judge's decision. So of course he's going to approach it as the Texas senator, but he's also approaching it as someone that went to Ivy League and is a lawyer. And so it's kind of like, uh, the people that I put my trust in are fighting for this. Let me look into the details, and that's just insane. And I've gotten into arguments with people in the last few days about like, well, she should have just respected the guidelines, and this would have never happened. She should have just apologized. And I'm not gonna lie. For a second, I was like, well, it's a valid point. And then I'm like, wait. A salon owner, 7 days, and if you want to put her in jail for 7 days, that's fine. But why are you releasing all of these other inmates and then adding her in? And if in Dallas County, I can go steal for $750 and below, and they won't do anything. They won't prosecute it.
I believe they also reduced the sentencing on various drug crimes in Dallas County too, as well. So they've limited the amount of people they're taking in for things that are actually considered a crime in the state of Texas. And now they're just deciding, hey, let's lock up this lady who tried to feed her kids.
I'm just sad that it's happening in Texas. Like
Oh, it's
I
a
thought I thought
shame.
I thought as a state we were better than this, but and plus it's not even the state. You're talking about Greg Abbott, both senators, all kinds of congressmen were fighting for her. Yet we're going to be looked at on a national level as Texas arrests, whatever, even though
Well,
it's only in Dallas County,
well,
which by the way, a lot of Californians live there.
yeah, like we were talking about, they're pockets of Texas that unfortunately are probably more suited to be in California or New York. Most of the state, most people that live here think that probably, I would assume, think that what happened with her is wrong. But when you live in somewhere like Dallas or Austin or Houston, that's kind of normal. And it's kind of unfortunate that it's very unfortunate that that happened. But when you live and work in one of those sorts of places, that's sort of that's sort of what the local politics, the local elected officials, you can expect from them. And that's I think it's terrible, but yeah, it's kind of what you really should expect, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's
So have y'all think about? Okay, all right, you ended it.
yeah. So I mean, for me, I haven't. I don't think I've gotten a haircut in like over 2 months. I don't know about y'all, Kelly. When's the last time you got a haircut?
Actually been when I was home for Christmas because I was planning on going over spring break and then like Corona hit. So it's definitely been a few months for me, and that kind of sucks because I'd like to get my hair done, but I guess they are opening back up this week, but it's kind of limited.
I think I've seen just huge crowds. I heard someone say that the wait for them to get a haircut was like 5 hours, like an online waiting time, like 5 hours. That's not a surprise. Everyone's just rushing in to get their haircuts, and so I think that's good. Hopefully, they can make up for lost business that they would have had over the last month and a half or 2 months.
Full disclosure: I have a mini mullet completely growing.
Yeah, I do as
So
well.
I need to go get that taken care of. Like it's not gonna come out on camera, but I could tie it.
I feel like that we should start a new challenge called the Ethan Mullet Challenge, where basically Ethan has to grow out a mullet.
Yeah, but am I the only one with a quarantine beard?
You are. I've shaved anything I've grown for the last like 3 weeks. So.
I did
I've
have
been
I did have a good one going on for a few weeks, and I just sort of got tired of it. I kept itching, so I had to shave that baby off.
I had that baby. I had a beard to begin with, and then I always shave my neck no matter what. Even in No Shave November, I get a lot of heat because I shave my neck because it just kills me when my
Oh,
neck is like and it catches onto your shirts and stuff. No.
yeah, you have
And what
to.
you call it? But now it's like, I mean, my hair is very dark brown, so it's not gonna come out. But I have like I mean, it's hair. Like I can pull on it. It's not scruff. Like I thought about tying it with a ponytail the other day just to trigger my mom.
I can't relate to that.
I don't think I could even without getting a haircut in like 2 months. I don't think I could ever tie my hair in a ponytail. It's just my hair is too thin, and yeah, I'm probably gonna shave. I may not shave it all off, but I'm gonna get a close haircut, probably a buzz cut or something. Yeah.
The buzz cut on Skylar Walksman.
Actually,
I
that's kind of how, like, growing up, my mom would always keep my haircut really short, and it's probably because like my whole dad's side has like a terrible receding hairline, which I was blessed with as well. So, so I've always had a buzz cut until like recently, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm fortunately someone who keeps their hair fairly short, so my hair's just now starting to look normal.
Bruh.
So we'll see.
Bro, we should all just go bald, honestly.
I got a razor right here if you want to come over.
No, that
Bald
was
is,
a joke. I will never be bald.
bald is beautiful.
Ever. No.
I agree with
Have
Skylar
y'all
on this one. Bald is
have y'all
beautiful.
seen
As
the
someone who has been bald by choice, it's a beautiful thing.
because who says we have to be in order on our topics? Have y'all looked into the Elon Musk AI stuff he wants to do, the Neuralink? Have y'all looked into that?
Uh,
I haven't heard much about it.
every
It'll be
time,
like
every
it'll
time I
be
do,
like a
I don't get
removal.
pet.
It'll be like a removal of part of your skull and replaced with this. So they're literally gonna drill, just like no. Oh God,
I don't
I
know if you
couldn't.
can see that, but I've already had part of my skull removed, so I'm down.
Anyway, so Elon Musk. So many things happening. I guess we can start with. Well, I've already mentioned the AI stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want a hole drilled into my skull for a whatever the name of it is, Neuralink.
I've had it.
Um,
It's not that bad.
because that's where I turn into Alex Jones. So I'm not gonna lie to you. That's where I'm like, I don't know, somebody that names their kid like a name that we can't even say because I have to look it up.
I actually
Should
know how
not
to
have
say it.
control over that.
X A12. Yes, it's a weird name,
Squared.
but I don't want anybody drilling into my head. My biggest fear is to have to get a root canal, and what?
Mine is wisdom teeth taken out.
Yeah, I feel like I've
It's
heard
not that
people
bad.
talking about getting a root canal, and that's worse. But I don't want a root canal, and I also don't want people drilling into my brain or skull or whatever. Um, I feel
So
like that's like a root canal, but 1,000 times worse.
I actually had a craniectomy, so I have a massive scar here and a massive scar from one side of my head to the other, where that exact thing happened. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily get
Wait,
Gen
wait, wait, wait,
1.
wait, wait, wait. What's in? Hold on. What exactly is in your head, Nate? What are you talking about? What is in your head? You mean to tell me Elon Musk's Neuralink, which is not ready for humans until
No, I
V10,
just
which
said
will be in about 20 years, is in your head, Nate?
I've just said I've had my head drilled into, okay? There's nothing inside of it.
Okay, but okay, all right, all right,
That
all right,
you
all right.
that you know
Let's,
of.
yeah,
Actually,
that you
there
know of.
there are some wires, but that's just to keep my skull together, but,
I see. Okay, well, let's move. Let me be more
But
specific.
I will say
Obviously,
it's not actually that terrible.
obviously, the drilling of the head is annoying, but what they do afterwards, I want no part of. I and Joe Rogan asked Elon
I
Musk,
definitely
"Where do
wouldn't go
you?"
for version 1. Definitely would not go for version 1.
Well, he said they wouldn't put it in humans until version 10.
I wouldn't go
Um,
for version 10 either
no,
then.
I wouldn't go for any of the versions. I'd go for version. I'm gonna go to instead. What do you call it? The Joe Rogan asked Elon Musk, so do you think the day will ever come that you can talk to like the 30-year-old version of yourself? And Elon's like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, no, sir. I was like, that's no, no. That freaked me out. That completely spooked me. Oh my god. Anyway, hey, is Elon Musk? What is he politically? Who do you vote for?
I believe he's an independent. I
Because
can
I
Google
thought he
his
was all
research.
globalist, but his Twitter feed is
To me,
flush
he
with
seems like. Do
quarantine.
y'all know that guy who always runs for president and says he's gonna give everyone a pony?
Huh, Bernie.
Yeah.
No,
Vermin
Vermin
Supreme.
Supreme. He
Yeah,
has a TikTok, by the way.
I feel like Elon would like him.
I always thought of Elon as like an Andrew Yang guy. That's just me personally, but that's what he feels like, kind of like a technocrat kind of guy. That's the vibe I get. Like give everyone $1,000.
But I for the longest time I thought he was up there with Soros and Bill Gates, and then I see his Twitter feed and he's like, "End the quarantine," and I'm like, "Whoa, coach, I was wrong. Like, I was so wrong about that." And then so here's my follow up question. This is it's not off topic. I mean, we're talking about Elon. You know that with that comes Tesla, SpaceX, all these things.
That's fine if it's off.
Do y'all think that you will ever go to space?
I don't know.
I hope
Probably
so.
not.
I really want to go. Like,
I do not want to go to space. I think that I would have a mental breakdown. I think that when I look out the window on the plane after I've thrown up because of motion sickness, and I look out the window and I'm looking back at Earth, I will have a complete mental breakdown. I will freak out. I will like unless I'm drugged, I will start running around. Now that is after I mess around in some zero gravity. After I'm done having my fun and it occurs to me I'm in outer space. Oh no. I will completely panic.
oh yeah, I mean, it would be insane. Like, so many things would be going through my head. I would still
That is
100% do it.
if space is actually real.
It was so funny. We all laughed so hard.
I know. All right, guys. Kelly
We're
Texas.
all definitely super happy we're on this podcast with you right
But
now.
think about it. Have any? Anyway,
I think
You
the
think-
important thing is that Elon Musk is a fraud. It's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing
What?
because
Epstein
like
didn't kill himself.
libertarians love Elon Musk all of a sudden, but he is a total fraud. Like he's
Well, what do you mean by fraud?
well because so he said stuff like
Well, but do you mean fraud politically, financially? What do you mean?
yeah, like look at the way it's like the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, has fined him for his tweets, basically saying like I don't know, it's stuff like basically distorting the value of Tesla, things like that. Also, it's kind of weird to see like libertarians falling all over him because he's probably taken more money from the government through Tesla and some of his other companies as well, than just about anyone. Like
He
He's taking.
also, on the financial part, he literally tweeted that Tesla stock shouldn't be valued as high as it should and tanked the stock.
Well,
Like,
I think one of the things to remember though is he's a billionaire as a secondary effect of his inventions. He's not a business mogul. He likes inventing things, and his inventions have created him into a billionaire. And I remember everybody complaining about Tesla stock, but right before the quarantine, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Tesla stock is so high! Oh my God!" Everybody was having a freak out about how high Tesla stock was. Go buy it, whatever. So everybody complains about Elon, and then tomorrow they're going to be worshiping him. I don't understand the libertarian thing because I don't think he's a libertarian. I don't think he's a conservative.
I
I
think
thought he was a globalist up until last week. So I just think that but also he lives in California.
I've
So
heard he's an independent.
his level of government overreach is going to be a little different than ours because it's California. Um,
Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, he's
You
not from
saw what happened
California.
in
He's from like
Dallas as
South
well.
Africa.
no, but he's
Um,
lived in California for years.
yeah, I don't know. He's a
Skylar, you would
he's a
complain about the
billionaire.
government way more if you lived in California.
I already complain about the government a lot, so I don't know
I
how.
know, but you live in Texas. Like,
Imagine living in
it only
California.
gets so bad. In California, oh, no, no, no. And look, I'm glad we're talking about this because now he's talking about leaving California because in the county where his company is, the not an elected official, not Newsom, not anybody important, but a public health official or whoever, whatever their title is saying that he's not an essential business when he's California's second largest exporter, uh, and the only car company left in California. I would think that they'd understand how important Tesla is to their economy, especially considering Hollywood is fading away to North Carolina. Uh, that's why their political is kind of going a little left because all the movies are shot in California now. I'm sorry, North Carolina, because Hollywood is too expensive. If you look into some of these movies, they're not filmed in Hollywood as frequently as you would think they are.
Georgia's actually having a huge growth in their movie business
Yeah,
now.
Georgia too.
Because,
Yeah, Atlanta.
yeah,
Well,
because
I
people
know.
are trying to get out of California because if you think about it, if you film a movie outside of California and do everything outside of California, just off of taxes alone, you're probably paying half as much, you know?
Yeah, and what is California gonna have left for them if they lose Tesla, if they lose Hollywood, which Hollywood's never gonna 100% be out of California. Let's just be realistic. But all of these things, all they've got left for them is Apple and Google and Facebook.
Facebook,
That's it.
I
Microsoft.
mean, they've got a lot. They have basically all that technology stuff.
I
A
mean,
big reason. A
they
big
literally
reason.
have Silicon Valley, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
But that's quickly changing as well. I know a lot of the financial sectors coming to Texas as well.
Yeah, a
Things
big
like that.
reason these like TV shows and movies record in some of these other states like New Mexico, they have all these financial incentives for people to record. They had Breaking Bad record there. I took a little trip, a little Breaking Bad RV tour while I was in Albuquerque, and we are talking about how they give incentives to TV shows and like movies to go record there. New Mexico has that. Georgia has that. A lot of places have that. I think.
Well, yeah, they have the incentives, but even without the incentives, it's still significantly cheaper than the California is.
Well, I mean, in California, you have these big studios. So even some of those shows that record in like their outdoor scenes and stuff in these other states, they'll still record in California because they have their gigantic studios, and that's where they do all that.
Not necessarily though.
Yeah, because the
They
land
do.
pricing to have those huge studios also, I could see those moving as well, just because of how expensive land and property taxes are in California.
Because the EPA is like, oh no 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 no, you can't build there. There's a lizard that comes by every Wednesday, and you can't alter his life. That was the example a Californian gave me. I was like, oh, okay, great, good for you. And anyway, but Texas is already like significant with their economy, but you throw Tesla in there, oh no, we're a new dimension of unstoppable at that point because Texas is already, the whole nation is trying to move to Texas. My neighbors across the street, I was checking the mail and I saw they were coming in. The people that sold their house were from Nevada and came here 6 months ago and moved back because their allergies were so bad. And then they came. So now they're new people. And I was like, they better be people that I can stand. And then I checked the mail and I see their cars and I'm like, let me see the plates. Both from California. I was like, I felt like that liberal when Trump got elected, and she had on the the beanie, and she was looking at the sky with her arm down. She's like, "No!" That's what I felt like right there in the street. That was so sad.
Let me just put it this way. Bless your heart.
The intensity in Nate's voice all of a sudden.
I don't personally know any Californians, but
I know a lot.
It's a bit of a concern.
I have a lot of neighbors that are from California, and people from school. I have coworkers that are from California. Actually, one of my friends is on their way from California right now, moving to Fort Worth. So, no, Texas is like the dream to be right now because of the
I mean,
economy.
I've just heard stories about the quality of living and living expenses going so significantly far down just moving California to Texas. Like value for dollar here is just insane compared to California.
No, it really is. I mean, and people talk about it all the time, but when you look at the data, it's like, wait. The one that still sticks to me is how our economy is bigger than Canada's. That I'm never going to be able to get over that. That is insane. That is like that anyway. That's
That should really
uncomprehensible.
say something to all the people who threatened to move to Canada in 2016.
I wish they
Bad
would go to
idea.
Canada. Leave me alone. Go to Canada. Go to Canada. Tell me how it goes for you waiting 6 months to get, a
Oh, they'll
filling.
just cross illegally. I mean, people do it here. Why can't they do it to Canada? I mean, that's liberal logic right there.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, but Elon says that he's officially moving his headquarters. Now, Elon tends to, just tweet stuff, but apparently he's officially moving his headquarters to half Nevada and half Texas.
Did
And
he
so,
say whereabouts in Texas? Just
no, he didn't, but it's hard for me to imagine it
because
not.
I know I've seen SpaceX in Waco. By the way, if you've ever been in Waco during a launch, you can just like hear it like shake buildings sometimes. It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't.
Hear it every few days.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, Skylar
I
knows.
haven't heard it. Oh yeah, Skylar knows. He's over there in Wacko, poor dude. Skylar, have you joined any
Poor
biker gangs?
dude.
No biker gangs, no religious cults. No.
Wow.
What about
Just
religious schools?
Just a wacko living in peace. What about Baylor? You have any connection to Wuhan? No? None? Yeah. I saw
I just
Baylor.
like to put a sick embarrass in here, okay?
Oh, God. No. No, and hook 'em horns while you're at it.
No thanks.
What do they say at Harvard and Stanford? What is it? Do they even have? Are they too, sophisticated for that?
I'm pretty sure they just say that building's named after my dad.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, while they're walking their dog and stuff. Anyway, so
So there's been a new video that came out the last few days ago about Ahmaud Arbery that showed he was shot while he was out jogging. This is over in I think Georgia. Is it Georgia or South Carolina? Wherever it was. Where he's out jogging. These two people they're armed with I think shotguns, and basically he's out jogging. They track him down. They think that he's someone that robbed a store, and so these two guys, it's a dad and his son. They track him down. It was actually the son that shot and killed him, and it turns out this guy is totally innocent. It's not him, and he's out jogging in broad daylight, and is killed in broad daylight. I don't know if I think y'all probably seen this. It's kind of just been all over Twitter. How do y'all feel about that? If y'all seen the video,
I honestly think that they might not have done that for the reasons they said they did. I'd seen that, like, I got all of this from Twitter, so there's no telling, but I'd seen that neighborhood had reported like burglaries or something recently, and then they thought that guy was the burglar. But then again on Twitter they were saying that like no reports had been filed of burglary in that neighborhood. So I honestly don't know. I mean, even if they thought that that's who he was, I don't know why they would like shoot him while he was out jogging like that. I think that there's a lot better ways to handle that if he was in fact the burglar. I don't know why shooting would be like their first resort.
Yeah,
But
the shooting wasn't okay. I think that's common ground. Even if he was guilty, the shooting is not okay.
Well, on top of that,
Uh,
the law in Georgia, I believe, is that you
yeah,
have to have
this happened in
witnessed.
Georgia,
I
not North
believe you
Carolina.
actually have had to have witnessed the crime in order to attempt a citizen's arrest, which they were supposedly attempting.
Right. The citizen's arrest is what I was going to bring up. It's supposed to. The only way you can do it is if it's like live happening. If it's not, if it happened earlier, or if you were informed about it and you're catching up. No,
And I believe the 911 call just
seeing
said
it
that
happen.
he was walking a construction site in the neighborhood, and I'm like, who
Since
hasn't
when? Yeah, since when is
who,
that a crime?
who hasn't walked a construction site in their neighborhood when they're building a new house or something? Just to
Right.
like,
What are you gonna take? Like,
I mean, yes, there are things you could take, but it's just common
but
practice
it'd be noticeable.
it would be noticeable, but it's also kind of a common thing to see, oh, how are they building this house different from mine? Is there something I could do if I'm considering a remodel? Things like that, just curiosity things.
On this thing, it's just let's say you have the wrong person. You actually think this is the guy that is burglarized homes or stores, or let's say you think it's him. That even if that's the case, you just have the wrong guy. There's absolutely no reason, like no remote reason, for you to shoot this man in the middle of the street in broad daylight. There's no reason. He was unarmed. Now you don't know that he's unarmed necessarily just by seeing it, but there's no reason for you to shoot him. Your life is not in danger. You're the one following him. To follow him and then to shoot him, um, it, I think that's just
It was clearly a bad shoot,
unbelievable.
100% a bad shoot. Just based off of the evidence we have, it was definitely a bad shoot.
So
And
unless I'm mistaken, the father and the son, are both currently in jail,
yeah,
as far as I know.
yeah,
And then the cameraman was charged, but not arrested until last night, I think. But when they arrested the father and the son, they didn't arrest the cameraman; they just charged him, and that's what even further infuriated the people of Georgia and the nation. I mean, anybody with a soul. Just what? I mean, why? How is the cameraman any less guilty? Anyway, I mean,
I think that cameraman is significantly less guilty.
no. You see a bully bullying a kid, and you stand there and watch it. You're just as guilty. It's just
Okay,
common.
I
okay,
disagree
that's a
on
little bit
this.
of a that's a that
No,
yeah.
no,
I
no. All right,
disagree
well,
on this
that's how I
completely.
feel about it. That's how I feel
What's
about
he
it.
gonna
If you're the
do?
camera person,
Is he armed? Like, I'm not jumping out of my
he
car.
stood there. He stood there and recorded it and witnessed the
He was in
entire
a, he
thing.
was in a car.
And if
He
you
was in a car.
What
Not that close. You're saying the person that murdered
what
this
should
kid
he have done in your
guy.
opinion, Ethan? What should he have
Oh,
done?
okay, all right. What should he have done? All right, mind you, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open to that. In all my things, if I'm wrong, correct me.
Okay,
Because this
well,
is not something that like Kelly said, it's all over Twitter. Like, it's hard to get the exact statistics. But if you're following, what I would have done is taken the recording to the authorities, said, "Hey, here's the recording for that shooting on X person." I had no, be upfront about it. But from what I'm seeing, this video took about 2 months to come out, or 3 months to come out. So is the state of Georgia guilty here, or is the cameraman guilty? What happened? Did he turn in the
Guilty of
video
what,
and
though?
Georgia's like,
yeah.
okay, well, hold on a second. If you record it
I'm
and then
not
you
saying that
don't
he
do
did the
anything with the
right thing if
recording,
he waited 2 months to send out the recording, but what crime is he guilty of?
what? Okay, let's see. Some would argue he's an accomplice. Some would argue that.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
From my
If I film
How
understanding,
is that not an accomplice? If you're standing there recording it happening,
if
and
there's
then
a
you don't
bank
turn in
robbery
the
and I'm in the bank and I record it and I tell the cop, hey, I have a recording, and no one gives me a way to turn it in, what am I supposed to just chase
no.
the cops until
There are ways to turn it in. There are in 2020. You mean to tell me there's no way that he could have turned that in?
Oh, it's
To say-
actually pretty difficult.
To say that someone following along this happening, so this person, from what I understand, they're in their car following behind them. They see a man and his son following along this guy. They have their guns on them. This guy's following along and recording this whole situation. I think that's not an abnormal thing to do. Like, I could
All right.
easily see myself being in
I mean,
in
I
that
personally
position
have a
with the person
dash cam in
recording.
my car, so I'm literally always
Okay,
recording every time I'm driving.
Like I said, my statistics here are very fragile. My statistics here are very fragile. I'm not a journalist. We're just having some conversation. Did he know the father and the son? I have spent about 10 minutes researching this case. Did he know the father, the camera person?
I believe
know
there
the father
was
and the son?
evidence that he did, yes. But
Okay, so he knew them.
pretty much everyone in that town, from the evidence of the case, knew him, because like half of the prosecutors and such had to recuse themselves because they knew him.
I'm talking about the
It
shooters.
seems like everyone in this town, yeah, I am talking about the shooters. They've had to
Okay, all
recuse
right.
themselves from this case because they knew the shooters. I believe it was prosecutor and a judge at least who had to. And I
Okay.
believe there were several, and I believe it's actually getting taken on by another county at this point because of that.
Okay, well, all I know is the state of Georgia charged the camera person, but did not arrest them.
Charged them with
But-
what?
Okay, let me find the exact.
Because
Hang on, I'm looking it up.
because what they charged him with is
I know
very
they were
important.
charged with something. I just forgot what. I wish we had a Jamie.
Yeah, we need to ask Joe
I-
Rogan if we can borrow him.
I don't know. I haven't seen what the cameraman was charged with, if anything. I know that the people that the father and son that were arrested, they weren't arrested until just a few days ago. After this video came out, and there's a big uproar among just about everyone. It wasn't until just then that they were arrested. It took them. It took the law enforcement months, because I think this happened in February. It took them months to actually arrest these people, these two people, and I think
believe-
that's
They had to recuse themselves because everyone was like, "Oh, it's this guy who everyone seems to know. He could never have done that." That seems
Yeah,
like
I mean-
why a lot of these people have recused themselves in this case.
Y'all,
I'm still. Go ahead, Kelly.
I was just gonna ask, do y'all think this was like racially motivated, or do you think that it was just kind of like random?
I think I've thought a lot about that, and we can't tell for certain whether that was because the Ahmaud Arbery, the guy that was killed, was black. Nobody can know except for the person that shot him,
Mhm.
and it's hard to say, but knowing that, man, personally, like I haven't had to worry about when I'm out jogging, which is not often actually, but that's not really something that is a concern. Like, if I'm jogging in a different neighborhood, I haven't really, like I said, that doesn't happen often, but that's not something I don't think I would have to be concerned about getting shot down because I'm mistaken for someone else. So I don't know. I can't say for certain, but I think there's a possibility that it could have been. I mean, it's hard to say.
I will say I think it is a possibility. I
Okay.
haven't seen proof of it yet, so I wouldn't say no for certain, but I also wouldn't say yes for certain.
Okay,
I'd be waiting for more evidence.
I'm still doing my research here, and I'm still not sure what they have officially charged the camera person with. But from what I'm reading is the camera person, William Bryan, who is that's who the cameraman is, right? William Bryan. Is this fake news?
No,
William Bryan,
I think that
who
is the
lives
name.
a few houses down from Travis. He lived a few houses down from Travis, recorded the video, and then it says Brian joined the father and son in hot pursuit of Arbery. So no, the cameraman was not like, somebody that stumbled upon and started recording. And no, they were not a witness. They joined in hot pursuit, is what it says. That's why I'm saying they should be arrested. If that is true, that they joined in hot pursuit, I don't know why y'all are saying that they should not be getting arrested.
So even if there was a hot pursuit, I don't necessarily think that that's again a charge for murder. It could have just been old man following the guy out of the neighborhood to make sure it wasn't the guy who was stealing stuff. We don't know the motives of this guy.
Yeah,
That's what's
I'll
going
be
to come
honest.
out in the court.
All right. I agree with you. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
living 3
There
doors
are-
down from someone doesn't mean you're best friends or anything like that.
Sure. And maybe they did believe like, oh wow, they're catching the burglar or whatever. Maybe. Let's put two hypothetical scenarios. If you really did think that like, oh wow, they're chasing a burglar, let me record this for evidence or whatever, then yes, I'm with y'all. But if we're defining that they joined in hot pursuit, which they might be trying to skew it some way. This is
Hot
USA
pursuit
Today.
of a man running is about 3 miles an hour.
Whatever. Pursuit is the word we're looking at. If you're joining in pursuit, like, with the same motives as the people pursuing, then yes,
We don't
you are
know
at
his
fault.
motives,
You are
though.
guilty.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's why I'm kicking you two different scenarios. In the case of X, then this is what I think. In the case of Y, then this is what I think. That's why we had the altercation about 5-10 minutes ago, because we hadn't defined the scenario, because so much data is still coming out.
Yeah,
And
I will say we are waiting on. I wouldn't make an official statement on like what specifically happened unless we see a court case where we see, oh yeah, this guy's a total racist or something. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is I think it's too early to make solid judgment calls on pretty much any of this at this point.
I have no idea. I'm not a legal scholar. I have no idea what you should be charged with. I'm looking at a Sean King tweet now. Sean King, that's somebody that, he always falls on one side of the argument every single time. But anyways,
Which side is that, Skyler?
Huh?
I said, which side is that, Skyler?
Basically on the side that like the person is always being oppressed. He's kind of just a sort of a grifter, but occasionally he's right. He's not always wrong. I think he's right a decent amount of the time.
Oh no, broken clock is right twice a day,
Yes, but anyways, the tweet says that basically their accomplice William Bryan being charged but has not been arrested. This was like 2 days ago. So it does sound like
I would assume with stuff like that,
innocent.
It seems like that they may have some kind of evidence that there is something. I don't know what that thing is. I don't know if he got charged with like withholding evidence, things like that. I don't know Georgia law, but I could see him charged with something, but I'm not.
Let's say that the camera person had the same motives as the shooters. This is a scenario because we don't know. Let's say he did. What do y'all think the punishment for the cameraman is? I think maybe not, a murder charge, but they should be up there in charges. I mean, they should. Obviously, the ones that took the bullet and did it should be a little bit higher. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm, coming across to anybody here. But what do y'all think the actual camera person?
What kind of charge are you saying? Are you saying charge the shooters with murder and the cameraman with manslaughter? What are you saying here? Like,
well, manslaughter.
I'm saying, not manslaughter.
That wouldn't be applicable.
It wouldn't be applicable. I'm saying that like, instead of using legal terms, although both of Nate's parents are lawyers, the shooters that are, committed the act, their punishment should be more significant than the cameraman's punishment. Although there should still be a punishment for the cameraman if this is a scenario where he had the same motives. Now, if they had nothing, if it happened and they're like, wait, what? And they had the recording and they are in fact a witness, then it's a different. I'm willing to have that conversation
Yeah,
too.
a big part is whether this was something that was like premeditated, whether they it's sort of like they knew that this guy was going to be jogging at this certain time, and they're like, we're going to track him down. I don't think that was the case, that they knew he was going to be. I think it was that they saw him, they happened to see him, and they're like, oh, this might be that guy that burglarizes houses or something. And then they go track him down, and then they shoot him. But kind of the degrees of how thought out this was prior to him shooting him, that'll play a big role in what their charges are.
I think premeditation is going to play a huge role in this case. First, when they decide whether they get, like murder, manslaughter, what the charges come out to, and that really is important in the overall case as to the thinking of the two subjects that shot this man.
In my very non-legal understanding, is like manslaughter is pretty much has to be like an accident. It's like
not necessarily. It could just be non-premeditated. There's varying degrees. It also varies by state, but typically it has to do with premeditation.
Yeah, maybe you meant to hurt them or something like that. Maybe
that is a possibility as well. There's so many possibilities as to what they could get charged with based off of circumstances, and we only have that few minutes right there. So really, until it goes to court, I think it's kind of just a tough call for anyone to make.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Yeah, and back to Kelly's thing about if it was. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Skylar.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I was just gonna say we're gonna be waiting on more information to come out. I mean,
exactly. We're gonna be. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be kind of like the Michael Brown situation a few years ago in Ferguson. I mean, I hope the impact isn't as big, but I think it's gonna be kind of like that, where a lot of people are holding their breath on what happens, and like whenever the verdict came out that the police officer that shot him, that killed Michael Brown, was found not guilty, there was a huge riot. That's what all the news was about. But I think it's going to be like that. I think this is going to remain in the national spotlight for a long time to come.
Back to Kelly's thing about if it was racially motivated. Like we've been saying repeatedly, we don't have all the statistics yet. I'm not going to say that it wasn't, but I'm not going to say that it was. I'm going to be honest, it's probably more likely that it was than it wasn't. But I'm not going to come out and say that if I don't have the data to support it. If it was the other way around, I still wouldn't come. I mean, you know what I mean? You got to have the data. So I think it's a really tough call. I'm not saying that, there was any good motive of the shooters. This is a terrible crime, terrible, I'm not insane, but I do think that like we need more data to call this. It's just a simple fact.
What it feels like at the very least was they thought they had a certain description of this person, and like if your race, if you're black in this description of this person, they were black as well. At the very least, it sounds like they're just really careless. Like let's say you have like these matches, maybe the height and the skin color. Like that's not a good enough reason to go kill someone in broad daylight. Like to fire a close range shot at someone because they have a sort of a vaguely similar description of someone that may have committed a crime. That's nothing. That's just total irresponsibility. And I just really hope that the legal system will provide justice, because I think at least the person that fired the shots should go to jail or go to prison for a long time. Probably the father as well, and maybe the cameraman. I don't know how involved.
We need more data to say it.
Right. Yeah.
It does kind of, from what I've been seeing, it looks like that. I'm not going to say for certain, but it looks like, the cameraman had intent of something, because he is in that pursuit as well. So I wouldn't say that he gets the same treatment that the other guys do, but there is a possibility of charges just based off the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of a bit of an intense topic, but how do y'all
Indeed.
just kind of to tone it down a little bit? I'm sure we'll be talking about this in episode 7 and 700. Once we have more data.
I'll be
but
tuned in for sure.
on a separate note, yeah, I'll be tuned in too.
I mean, to the topic.
Oh, okay. I was talking about the podcast. I'll be tuned in.
We'll be
both,
listening to it. Yeah, that Skylar guy makes some good points.
I'm listening to it right now. Anyway, so how are y'all's finals going?
It's
Over.
been pretty
Thankfully.
horrible.
So Nate's over.
Oh yeah.
I'm 1/5 of the way through.
Kelly, how are yours?
I'm finished, but I have class this summer. So I have a 3-week managerial accounting class starting Monday at 8 a.m. in the morning. So it's really awful, but it's just 3 weeks. So
That's
I think
oof.
yeah, I don't know why I did it to myself, but
Be prepared for managerial accounting. That's not a great class, and to take that in 3 weeks and take it at 8 a.m. That's pretty ballsy. So congrats there.
I'm struggling with a 9:30.
Yeah, I mean I hadn't
commute too though, Ethan. So that's rough.
Well, yeah, that's true. I commute. Not this semester. I commute from. Actually, I don't even commute. I get my Mac right next to my bed, and I just.
That's true. That's true. Your commute was about the same as mine this semester.
For me, finals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, for me, finals has been pretty insane. Like, yesterday, I turned in assignments that were worth half of my grade in one day. I had a 6-page paper that I turned in, research paper. It wasn't just me rambling on. It was like, oh, these are the sources and whatnot. Now I took my final. That was 50% of my grade. It's been ridiculous. I have
Skylar, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're graduating this semester, correct?
That's not correct. It's gonna be December 21.
Okay.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. I tell people I'm never graduating because it's what it feels like, but no, eventually I will.
Same here. Same here.
Boy, Nate, if you don't shut up, Nate, you're like 5 years old.
No,
What are you talking about?
I was taking college classes in high school. It feels like I've been doing this forever, you know?
There's a song called Seventh Year
Okay.
Senior, and that kind of encapsulates me.
Hey, all I'm saying is you got this, okay? You got finals.
Yeah, I do feel like I have a pretty good
handle on it,
but yeah.
Well, I guess the last thing I have to say is to the listeners out there, if you'd like to donate to us to get a studio or something so that you don't have to deal with our stupid connection issues, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Go to the website getskylaramic.com. Just joking.
Oh, that's
someone's gonna buy that domain.
One half of Saving the Republic has proper mics, and one more fundraiser for Kelly to untangle her headphones.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, every single podcast there's like a little ball of tickle.
I know. Nobody's ever said it, but I know everybody notices it. It is
also another fundraiser, so I can just have the same background every time. It feels like I've had a different background for the last 2 months.
Yeah, Nate's currently operating out of his. It's not his car. He was in his car. Whose car is this now?
I think this is my mom's car.
You think this is your mom's car?
It could be the neighbor's car. We aren't entirely sure.
I just looked for a car with good Wi-Fi and climbed in.
All right then. Well, anyways, guys, if you like our Wednesday specials with Mackenzie and Cabot Phillips, or guests like Matt Lewis and all these other people, those great people over there, Young Conservatives of Texas, let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback. We've got some really good stuff coming up, so stay tuned. You're gonna have to wait to see what it is. Anyway, but this has been episode 6, and glad you enjoyed our rambling. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, share it. If you hated it, like, subscribe, and share it. Thanks for tuning in.